Coming up on Fulton Today, one of the newest body cameras on the market is providing even more transparency for the sheriff's office. We'll explain.
The county's justice partners help residents clear their misdemeanor arrest record so they can get on with their lives. I'm Brian Robinson, and I'll have more on this story coming up.
And what lessons are learned when the busiest courthouse in the state is evacuated? That and much more starts right now on Fulton Today. Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. This holiday week may prove to be a special one after Fulton County residents with a misdemeanor arrest record may now or may soon have a clean slate. The numbers are now in on just how many people were helped during the Veterans Day Record Restriction Summit. FGTV's Brian Robinson joins us now with more on the story. Brian?
Shania, approximately 300 people pre-registered to have their record restricted. The district attorney says hundreds more showed up to the summit to achieve that same result.
Veterans Day 2018 has passed, but it was a day these veterans and civilians who packed the temple in northwest Atlanta won't soon forget. The criminal record they once possessed no longer hinders their lives, all thanks to a shared bond between the church and the county.
This work is possible because the faith community, our esteemed government agencies, and the nonprofit sector have all come together. We see our neighbors crying out in despair, and we have come to say, we will hide no more. Our coming together today is a test of our collective humanity and of our moral responsibility.
Once again, the county's justice partners, along with civic and religious community leaders, hosted a record restriction summit for Fulton residents with a criminal record. To be eligible, the nonviolent misdemeanor arrest had to occur in a Fulton County jurisdiction, and there was no conviction at the trial.
Each and every day there are people who have made missteps. Many of them have fallen and need a hand to pull them up. So together we are serving those folks who made a misstep.
This group of people are not alone in their missteps. Summit organizers say in Fulton County there are over 1.5 million outstanding charges that have not gone to trial. Whether the accused are waiting for trial or they've had their day in court, that charge prevents them from finding employment and housing. It also affects children as well.
This gentleman walked up to me and he wanted to thank me for having one of these events. And I thought he was just thanking us for doing it. He said, no, you don't understand. He was well dressed, middle-aged man. He said, you actually restricted my record that day. I had a young person in my family, a young couple, and they had a kid who was about to go into foster care. And because my record was restricted, I was able to adopt a young person in my own family.
Though the summit was well attended, the next one could see more people thanks to the efforts of the district attorney's office.
We are going to be resubmitting a bill that will require or allow folks who were convicted of nonviolent felonies and nonviolent misdemeanors to get those records restricted. Because even as we're here today, the number of people and the number of records that we can restrict is limited, because generally in Georgia, you cannot restrict a record if that person was convicted.
That bill would be submitted during the 2019 Georgia legislative session beginning in January. That's also the time the next record restriction summit is scheduled to occur.
If the district attorney sponsored legislation passes, Georgia would become the 26th state to not only allow record restriction of nonviolent misdemeanor convictions, but also nonviolent felony convictions. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Brian Robinson.
Thank you very much, Brian. Meanwhile, the Solicitor General's office was also busy giving a group of teens a valuable lesson on how not to get a record. The SG and the National Black Prosecutors Association presented a program called Real Talk About the Law at the Georgia International Convention Center.
I think it's a great collaboration, getting these kids out and kind of seeing another side of life outside of the school building, and getting to see real life
Real Talk About the Law is an award-winning teen crime prevention program that offers police interaction tips, a job and enrichment fair, and encourages the teens to take a peace pledge.
I think it was a great pledge to help get kids to know that it's better ways to solve things and not to negatively think and do things so you won't end up in a bad place.
Prosecutors, jailers, and court staff also explain the harsh realities of the criminal justice system.
I want to applaud the solicitor's office. Quite often, our kids don't understand the implications or the consequences of their actions, but the fact that we have so many people who have experienced perhaps some things that they're not very proud of, that we're able to turn that around. With that, the kids have an opportunity to say, I may have made some not so good decisions, but I can turn this around also.
I learned that gun violence and any kind of violence is not the way to solve a problem or a disagreement of any kind.
Hearing the hard-hitting information helped the teens realize there are better places to be than on the wrong side of the law. An evacuation of the Fulton County Courthouse puts the sheriff's office to the test. To help sheriff deputies provide the best protection during an actual emergency, a fire drill was conducted at the courthouse. Staffers, jurors, and even visitors were safely escorted out of the building and across the busy streets of downtown Atlanta. Though the sheriff's office conducts the drill, it's the designated floor leaders wearing bright orange vests who direct people where to go as they are leaving the building.
My role as a floor leader is to make sure that all the personnel and staff are all evacuated from the floor and that we're safely out of the building. And I have to direct them to our designated location, make sure everyone's accounted for, and just wait until one of the deputies let us know that it's all clear to go back to the building.
The sheriff's office is responsible for evacuation drills in both the courthouse and the county jail. All drills at each location are always unannounced. Once the evacuation of the courthouse was complete, it was back to business for everyone involved. An update now on a story we've shared with you. The Fulton County Sheriff's Office is now providing even more transparency to the public. FGTV's Daryl Carver has a story about the new body cameras for deputies in the field.
On any given day, a sheriff's deputy's shift begins with hitting the road to serve temporary protection orders. Since this task requires face-to-face interaction with civilians, Deputy Aubrey Burnett is thankful he has a body camera.
It's great for the civilians and the deputies. Like two sides to every story, but with the cameras, there's three sides. You got the civilian side, you got the officer side, and you got the video. The video camera don't lie.
Thanks to a grant from the Department of Justice, Deputy Burnett is among the many sheriff's deputies in the field now wearing one of the newest body cameras on the market.
Basically what it's going to allow us to do is really just be transparent. It's going to give us an opportunity to look at what our officers do out there in the field. And if we need to make changes, we'll be able to make changes in some of our practices and what we do from an operational standpoint.
The sheriff's office first purchased body cameras in 2013, but they were only for the deputies working in the Fulton County Jail.
Before they got the sheriff's office.
Now, with an emphasis on transparency to the public, the sheriff thought body cameras for all deputies was a necessary move. Locally, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation has been requested to look into more police-involved shooting cases in 2018 than in 2017. The sheriff's office believes these cameras will help protect not only their deputies against false accusations, but also help all Fulton County residents feel safe when communicating with law enforcement.
The public should assume that they're being recorded all the time when they're interacting with one of our deputies. There may be some occasions where we may turn the camera off, but that's only when we're dealing with individuals who we do not want to be identified.
Once the footage is recorded, it's transferred to a storage system and can be accessed at any time by supervisors with administrative rights. And in certain cases, the footage could be retrieved with an open records request. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Daryl Carver.
Thank you very much. Well, as the 2018 class at Fulton Citizens University nears the end, students get a lesson about the county's role in their drinking water. The class made a visit to the Johns Creek Environmental Campus where they first heard from Public Works Director David Clark. The director explained how Public Works handles the county's drinking water and wastewater, along with ensuring the safety of the county's roads, bridges, and traffic signals. The class then heard from Deputy Chief Operating Officer for Infrastructure, Kirby Ellis. The former director of the Department of Real Estate and Asset Management explained how DREAM is in charge of county building operations and construction, ground maintenance, and even vehicle support.
It was very enlightening. We learned about the things that they do to preserve our water and make sure it's clean for us. We also learned about the real estate and land developments that the county owns. So it was very enlightening to know that they do preservations of buildings. So that was very interesting.
The county manager joined the class and discussed Fulton's strategic priorities and thanked the class for taking the course. After the lecture, the students were given a brief tour of the environmental campus. And coming up next on Fulton Today, a popular pilot program addressing food insecurities enters into its second phase. Details in our district-by-district coverage next. One of the nation's largest package delivery services thanks Fulton County for helping to find its company a home and employees. And the county addresses food deserts by giving residents a new way to grow vegetables. Here's this week's district-by-district coverage. District 1 Commissioner Liz Hausman sits in on the certification of the election. The commissioner wanted to see firsthand just how well Fulton County's elections department did during the general election.
It's extremely important that we send a message to the public that the integrity of our election process is secure, that every vote that is legitimate is counted, but that every vote that is made in Fulton County is processed to ensure that if whoever casts that ballot has the right to vote, that vote is also counted.
The commissioner says she is looking forward to changes being made so that residents can have an even better experience for the next election. District 4 Commissioner Natalie Hall joins UPS in saying thank you to Fulton County staffers who helped hundreds of people find jobs with the company. The International Package Delivery Company officially opened its newest Smart Hub on Fulton Industrial Boulevard last month. With the new facility, gained the opportunity for new jobs for a number of residents. Fulton County partnered with the company to find qualified employees.
Today was really monumental in just recognizing those people who do the hard work to get us connected into the community and get those businesses connected in to do the employment opportunities.
Today was an appreciation luncheon to thank over 60 nonprofit agencies that were actually involved, a part of the UPS Community Recruitment Initiative.
Recruiting has to be a grassroots operations where we hit the local communities first, give them the initial opportunity to get jobs, a long-lasting career, and to move up within the company, and also to affect the community that we're in as well.
UPS will employ 4,000 workers in all for the third largest facility in their network and the second largest ground transport. District 5 Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. announces the county's newest initiative to address food deserts in District 5. The commissioner shared news about the expansion of Fulton's Geological Agriculture program during a press conference. The GEO Ag concept, as it's called, promotes rock gardening.
For us lay people, it is growing plants without soil. It's growing plants in rocks and gravel with sand.
Basically, the way rock is formed 100 million years ago, they're formed from the sediment of the earth, once organic life, and they're fossilized throughout time to be pretty much unlimited sources of nutrient material for our plants.
Thanks to the pilot, the first phase, we were able to introduce this to about 100 seniors at the HJC Bowden facility. And we're now launching this at 2 other facilities, Dardanelle and a neighborhood senior facility.
Now, the idea is for residents without a traditional garden to be able to grow fresh seed-based vegetables. Rock gardens are considered to be geologically friendly. Now you can catch more of your commissioners at work all this week with the rebroadcast of the Board of Commissioners meeting right here on FGTV. And still to come, law enforcement helps seniors stay safe this holiday season. We'll explain when we come back. Seniors hear from the Fulton County Sheriff on how to best stay safe during not just this holiday season, but every day of the year. FGTV's Priscilla Ortega has the story from this year's Fall Safety Conference.
Carjacking, stealing, burglaries, just be mindful of your surroundings.
In the packed community room at the HJC Bowden Senior Facility in East Point, one law enforcement officer after another gave advice on how not to become a victim of various crimes. This is the 17th annual Fall Senior Safety Conference sponsored by the Tri-Cities SALT Council.
In Fulton County, all of us, federal, state, and local, work together, and we work to protect the seniors, and all of us work as one. All law enforcement, state, federal, and local, work as one to protect not only the seniors, but the citizens of Fulton County.
Top decision makers and leaders from public safety agencies and organizations that serve the senior population participated in a panel discussion.
We must make sure we're taking care of those who are taken care of for so long. So by building bridges and relationships with the seniors, we're able to better reduce crime and also help them in any needs they have.
Seniors had questions about everything from what's the best doorbell and security system to how officers were protecting them at shopping plazas, gas stations, and MARTA.
We're doing some improvements that they will be visible improvements to MARTA as far as lighting and paving and just the normal security upgrades to our elevators, our escalators, and then we care about them every day.
This year's topic, Safety is No Accident, Awareness and Preparedness.
I learned about fire alarms and the fire department and how they operate and the operation of the outreach program that they offer the seniors.
Law enforcers shared information hoping that with conversations like these, each agency could continue to build upon better police and community relations. In East Point, I'm Priscilla Ortega for FGTV.
Thank you, Priscilla. Seniors get another lesson on safety, but this time it's about HIV and AIDS. Health professionals with Fulton's Board of Health shared critical information about the disease with seniors at the HJC Bowden facility. Fulton has the highest number of HIV and AIDS cases in the state, and even the senior population is impacted.
Seniors notoriously have not had that test done as a baseline test. A HIV test in the past has been a specialty test that you had to pay out, probably outside of insurance costs, and it is a consented test. Most people, elderly, think just because they went to the doctor and he drew blood, he tested for HIV, which is not necessarily true because you have to have a signed and informed consent.
Fulton's Board of Health has an aggressive HIV and AIDS prevention and education campaign. Fulton mothers receive information to help them raise healthy babies. Expectant and new moms got details about prenatal and post-delivery care during the First Footsteps program held at the Oak Hill Center. The info was provided by the Board of Health's Maternal and Child Health Services team.
Moms get different advice for therapy, postpartum depression, if they need help as far as getting food or clothing or Pampers, learning how to breastfeed, if they need any help breastfeeding, if they have any questions about it.
I talked about my own journey as a mom. I talked about my experience after having my son and feeling overwhelmed at times, experiencing some sort of sometimes anxiety, but also just dealing with the feelings of postpartum, just having a child and your new journey as a mom.
The First Footsteps program is ongoing for Fulton mothers through the Women, Infant, and Children's Office. And still to come on Fulton Today, seniors get a head start on Thanksgiving with a big feast. Stay with us. Well, some county middle school students, they become engineers in training. The third annual Fulton County Model Water Tower competition took place at the Tom Low Atlanta Fulton County Water Treatment Plant. Hosted by Public Works, the Model Water Tower competition allows the aspiring engineers to build functioning model water towers out of recycled materials. Those towers are judged by professionals who look for engineering structural integrity, hydraulics, and how well it holds water. Students had 6 months to build their best and most efficient towers. First prize won $300.
I learned that in actual water towers, the height is not for like aesthetics, it's to actually get it to go down like gravity.
I think it's really fun, and I think it's a good learning experience because we got to go all around the Fulton County water system and learn how our water was made and how it got to our house.
We want the students to learn some math and science concepts related to the water industry to get them thinking about engineering, and we also want to introduce them to some of the careers that are available in the water industry. A lot of people don't realize that we really need young talent coming into our industry at this point, and this is a good way for them to get an introduction to that.
If you or someone you know would like to be a part of the competition next year, just email Amy Warnock at amy.warnock@fultoncountyga.gov. You can also give her a call at 404-612-8006. And finally, seniors share the Thanksgiving season together. Staff at the Dorothy C. Benson Senior Facility host their annual holiday luncheon. Participants and guests were treated to an afternoon of feasting on a traditional holiday meal. And to help work off that meal, the seniors took to the dance floor to enjoy some live entertainment.
For some, this may be the only holiday gathering that they participate in, so we enjoy doing it. We think it is critically important for our seniors to stay as active and engaged as possible.
This holiday season is proving to be a bit challenging for the seniors following the loss of the center's namesake. Miss Dorothy Benson was a staunch advocate for senior services. She passed away on November 3rd at the age of 97. And to honor her contribution to the senior community and her love of horses, a celebration of her life will be at the Benson Center in January. Oh, we love Miss Benson, and we will, of course, keep you posted when we find out that date. And before we go, our reminder that FGTV wants to connect with you online. Be sure to follow FGTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for up-to-date Fulton County news. You can watch a replay of this show and any other FGTV program anytime on our YouTube channel. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. Thank you so much for watching. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.